Your four favorites are Arrival, 12 Angry Men, Inception, and Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Even though it's a short film, I feel like La Jetée is what you'd get if you threw your four favorites into a blender, because it's an existential sci-fi film that plays with our perception of time like Arrival. It's a classic black and white film like 12 Angry Men. While Inception involves the manipulation of dream time, this film involves the manipulation of time through the use of time travel. And the protagonist in this film is haunted by a memory of a woman from his childhood, kind of like how Cobb is haunted by the memory of his wife in Inception. And like Portrait of a Lady on Fire, it's a French film about fleeting romance. And it feels like both stories are conveyed through images, because this film was constructed almost entirely from still photographs, and a lot is communicated through paintings in Portrait of a Lady on Fire. But I feel like my top choice for you should be a feature-length film, so I'm going to go with The Abyss. It's comparable to Arrival in ways that might be considered spoilers, so I'll just say it's a philosophical sci-fi film involving communication and an unfamiliar species. Like 12 Angry Men, it depicts a group of people in a tense, enclosed space who need to work together. Like Inception, it's a sci-fi action film with a feeling of exploration, because the characters in Inception are exploring these dream worlds, while the characters in The Abyss are exploring deep beneath the ocean. And it doesn't have much in common with Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but love is a part of the story. And this film largely takes place in and around water, and a lot of Portrait of a Lady on Fire is set against the backdrop of the sea. Mulholland Drive plays with our perception of time like Arrival. It's about people searching for answers or trying to uncover the truth like 12 Angry Men. It's about dreams like Inception, and it's got a sapphic romance like Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and Céline Sciamma cited this film as an influence. Wild Strawberries is an existential film like Arrival. It was released in 1957 like 12 Angry Men. It's about dreams like Inception and involves love like Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Pacific Rim involves extraterrestrial life like Arrival, but also involves sci-fi technology and action like Inception. Some other sci-fi films that either involve extraterrestrial life and or philosophical themes that I think you might enjoy since you like Arrival are Solaris, which was also cited as an influence for Inception, Starman, Sunshine, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Midnight Special, The Quiet Earth, Forbidden Planet, and The Endless. A ghost story plays with the concept of time and space in a poignant and profound way that kind of reminds me of Arrival. My Old Ass is a totally different genre and doesn't fit the vibe of your favorites at all, but I personally thought this movie had a similar message to Arrival, where if you could see your entire life laid out in front of you, would you do things differently? I'd elaborate, but this movie came out less than a year ago, so I don't want to spoil anything. Paprika is basically the original Inception. Not only are the stories similar, but there are scenes and characters that are similar as well. But some other movies about dreams that you didn't have marked as watched that I think seem up your alley are Open Your Eyes, Waking Life, The Science of Sleep, Total Recall, and Brazil. The way characters enter dreams in Inception reminds me of the way characters enter virtual reality games in Existence. Two somewhat recent films that seemed heavily inspired by 12 Angry Men that you didn't have marked as watched are Juror Number 2 and The Trial of the Chicago 7. But some classic legal dramas I think you might also enjoy are Anatomy of a Murder, Witness for the Prosecution, and To Kill a Mockingbird. When I think of characters getting angry in a movie, coincidentally one of the first films I think of is also from the director of 12 Angry Men, and that's Network. Two sapphic romance films that I think have a somewhat similar vibe to Portrait of a Lady on Fire are Carol and The World to Come. But based on the way you described the tension in your review for Portrait of a Lady on Fire, some romance films I also think you might enjoy are Before Sunrise, In the Mood for Love, and Brief Encounter. Water Lilies involves a sapphic romance like Portrait of a Lady on Fire and is from the same director and has one of the same stars. But there's something about your favorites that makes me think out of the other Céline Sciamma films you didn't have marked as watch that you might appreciate Petite Maman the most.